It starts with the
Draft day, I thought I knew it all. Laid out my picks, now my team's gonna fall. Keep that in mind, I ignored the signs. Now my season's on the line.
All I know.
Matchups are a critical thing. Watch them slip by as the waiver wire swings. Watch it count down to the end of Sunday's games. The clock ticks as all my hope decays. My top player's up on IR. Watch my season crash like a falling star. Tried to adjust but couldn't make it far. I gambled it all just to lose so hard. I tried making trades, and even though I tried, my roster fell apart. What it meant to be will eventually just be misery. Memory of a time when I
so hard to build my squad.
In the end, I'm bottom of the ladder.
I made bad picks, took too much risk.
In the end, I'm bottom of the ladder.
What is up, fuckers? I am back with you here with another week of the podcast. You may be asking yourself, why am I in this weird area that's not my office? Well, my baby niece's Slate is staying the night at our house, and my mom has already put her to sleep, so I am here in my little front yard smoking area. If you know me, you know what it looks like if you've been to my parents' house. Anyway, that's how much I love you guys. It's a little bit chilly. I'm outside in the elements, but I am here to make the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed that intro. So let's get right into it. One quick reminder before we get into the nitty-gritty of the Fantasy Football Week. Our upcoming last and final league event is going to be on December 1st. This is for name points on Sunday Night Football, Niners versus Bills. It's going to be at Ye Olde PTs, or the one on Silverado and Bermuda, the one where we had the draft game. So, hope to see you fuckers there. It's going to be a good time. We're going to be watching a pretty good game, Niners versus Bills. Should be pretty exciting as we come down to the wire in the playoff contention. Alright, moving on, going into some transactions before we get up to the league deadline, which is, by the time this episode airs, tomorrow, November 22nd. So make sure you get your last minute trades in, but don't trade Raul any of those bullshit he's offering everybody. But going over some trades that happened since I had my last episode, Eric made a phenomenal trade by giving away Chuba Hubbard to Henson and somehow getting Deebo Samuel and DeAndre Swift in return. I don't know what the fuck Henson was thinking, and everybody wants to be the boy who cried collusion, right? But maybe Henny's just an idiot. Let's not put it past him. This week, Eric also made a trade where he traded Breece Hall away to Raul in exchange for Calvin Ridley and James Cook, which, it doesn't stink of collusion, it just stinks of dumb trade. I personally wouldn't have given up Breece Hall because of Calvin Midley, the Calvin Midley part, but James Cook is a pretty good back, so I guess if Aaron really needed a wide receiver, then hope it works out for both of them. Now this week, unfortunately, on Tuesday Blues, we have two victims, and that is me and Eric. In contrast to that, let me give a shout out to the Dub Club. Greg, Janel Hertz, Raul, Henny, and Vaughn. On to this week's fantasy matchup recap. Starting off with the biggest clapping of the week, I believe, which would be Raul over Chef with a final score of 177 over 96. Somehow coming up with that amount of points while Russell Wilson, his starting quarterback, only ended with 8.35. But Breece Hall had 27.6. Achane had 18.5. Puka Nacua had 21. Oh, there it is. Okay, so Josh Jacobs had 21, but this is the kicker. Taysom Hill. I think everybody knows the fucking disbelief that we were in looking at Taysom Hill's stat line from last week. So he had 10 targets, 8 catches for 80 yards. Wait, sorry. 10 targets, 8 catches for 50 yards, but he also had 7 rushing attempts for 138 fucking yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. Oh, and to top it off, he also had 2 pass attempts for 18 pass yards. So, I mean, on the other side, how can you even top that? The Texans' defense also for Raul's team had 26 points, but how can you top that? You have JSN with 16.8 points. That's a good performance. Mark Andrews shit the bed with 3. Nico Collins shit the bed with 7. Travis Etienne shit the bed. So, just an unfortunate situation for Chef, who goes on to 5-6, while Raul is sitting pretty at 9-2. In the next matchup, Henson clapped Edwin with a final score of 160-101. With his main scorers being Saquon with 34.8 points. Can't believe we didn't pay that guy. Amon-Ra St. Brown with 33. And Cooper Kupp with 25. On the other side, we had Jonnu Smith, who had an outstanding performance for a tight end with 25 points. But unfortunately, nobody else was able to really show up. Aaron Jones had 4. Bijan Robinson had 8. Garrett Wilson had 3. So, Edwin was not able to beat Henson. Henson going on to 10-1, and Edwin going to 6-5. In my matchup versus Greg, it was close enough not to be a clapping with the final score of 94-81. On my side, Raheem Mostert had a final score of negative 0.2. Kyron Williams had 8, Tyler Lockett had 2, A.J. Brown had 9, Romeo Doubs had 2. And the Jets defense had 5. But Greg was smart enough to start Jawan Jennings, who had 20 points, C.D. Lamb, who had 14, and C.J. Stroud did just enough to get the job done on the Monday night to destroy my hopes and dreams of having a playoff run this season. And beating me with the final score of 94-81, I'm at 3-8, and Greg is at 5-6. In the next matchup, which was 1 point short of a clapping, Jalen Hurts is at 5-6, putting Donnie at 4-7 with the final score of 138-119. Jared Goff put 50 points up, which is amazing. But Jamar Chase also did his part with 23 points. Everyone else is kind of underwhelming, but David Njoku for Jalen Hurts' team had 14, which is good from a tight end standpoint. And even though Donnie started the Vikings with 17 points on their defense, and David Montgomery with 23 points, Josh Allen with 28 points, he unfortunately had Jonathan Taylor shit the bed with 6, Terry McLaurin shit the bed with 1.5, and Hunter Henry had 9.3 points, which is good for a tight end, but not enough to take Donnie to his 5th win. And in the final matchup recap of the week, it is exactly enough for a clapping with the final score of 124-104. Vaughn defeated Eric with the participation of Jared Mixon on the Monday Night Football game, going for 36 points against the shitty Cowboys team. I honestly am so happy that the Cowboys suck this year, because I don't know who sucks worse, us or them, and it's been a while since they've been this bad. Fuck the Cowboys. Besides them, Justin Herbert also had a good performance, defeating Cincinnati on that Sunday Night Football game, playing against the... And despite Tucker Kraft having 0 points and his Chargers defense having only 6, Ladede McConkey had 15, and Devontae Adams had 10. Christian McCaffrey had 12 on his return. Chris Boswell, though, on Eric's side, 24 points. Amazing. Also amazing how Pittsburgh defeated Baltimore without scoring a single touchdown. I don't think that's going to happen again. Chase Brown had 16 points on Eric's roster, and James Cook had 17 points. with Geno Smith also matching with 17 points. Unfortunately, that combination of players not able to take him over the top to his 6th victory of the season, sitting at 5-6 currently, while Vaughn went to 3-8. And before I let you fuckers go, of course, I have to do my Thursday night preview of the football game tonight. That is the Steelers going to Cleveland to face the Browns with the over-under at an abysmal 36.5. Now, to be fair, I do think that I have read that there is some expected weather, wind and rain, which might be contributing, as well as it being a Thursday night football game, which usually sucks. But be it what it may, the Steelers are favored by 3.5. And I'm not even keeping track anymore, but I'm pretty sure I've lost my Thursday night guess picks, whatever. I'll do some type of punishment on the last episode of the season, but let me just continue, I guess. I'll go back and check, so I might have a chance, but I'm taking a George Pickens anytime touchdown. Now, that might just be another losing recipe, but I know Chef will be rooting for it since he has him on his team. And other players who are participating from our league's matchups. As mentioned before, Chef has George Pickens. Raul has Russell Wilson on his bench, though. Eric has Nick Chubb starting, and Stefan has Cedric Tillman and David Njoku and Michael Williams on his bench. Eric has Chris Boswell, the kicker who put up 24 points. Vaughn has Jalen Warren, currently sitting on his bench. And last but not least, I have Najee Harris and Pat Freiermuth, who's currently on my bench. I don't know what combination of those players I may or may not start this week, but looks like 6 of us have players who are on our rosters who are going to be participating in this Thursday night football game, so I hope it works out the best for all of us as much as it can. Alright, well, I am going to go ahead and cut this episode off because I am outside with all of my equipment. It is 10:40 p.m. and I still have to edit this episode before I go to bed. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and I have another special one next week. In the meantime, everybody enjoy your fantasy football week. Good luck to everybody who's trying to make it into the playoffs or secure their spot currently holding going into the playoffs. I'm excited to see how this season is going to play out, and you know you guys are going to see me next week on the Fantasy Freestyle podcast.